What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Drive Talk Cars. And in today's video, we are going to be addressing the current condition of the SuperWrap around my window trim, as well as showing you how to remove it. So let's jump into the video. Many of you have been asking, how is the window trim holding up with the SuperWrap sprayable vinyl wrap? That's a lot to say. And how does it look now? So far, so good. There are a few areas that have some chips in it, and I don't know if that's because of user error. Like I said in the initial video where I applied it, I don't think I applied it completely correct. So I don't think I got a really good thick layer on so that may be why it's chipping, and it's in some high visibility areas, so I will show you those particular areas. But in addition to that, a lot of people have been requesting how is it to take it off. So I said, well, since there are some areas that are kind of fading, if you will, I'm going to go ahead and just remove it. Okay, so one of the high activity areas is going to be right here on my driver's side. So right here, as you can see, it is starting to chip away in the corner as well as on the top here. Now this probably is because when I open it or when I close it, I touch it right there. So that might be why it's seeing some weather or some wear on it. Other than that, I think everywhere else is pretty good. Under here is getting a little bit of wear, but not too much. And that was kind of iffy from the beginning because I didn't get a really good thick coating on there. So that should be interesting when I go to take it off. But all in all, it's held up very well. All right, so to be completely honest, I'm just going to approach this like I would vinyl wrap. I'm going to find a spot and just start peeling off. Hopefully that will work and we can just peel it up like we would regular vinyl wrap or plasti dip if you ever had plasti dip. So let's get into it. So far so good. I mean, it's actually coming up in one solid piece for it to be so thin. But I can definitely tell from how thin it is that I didn't apply it that well. I'm thinking it should be thicker than this, but as you can see, it's coming up. So ideally, I'm trying to get it off in one piece, but I think because it's so thin, it's hard to stay as one solid piece. However, with that being said, it is still easy to get off. Unlike plasti dip, sometimes if you don't put enough on there, it is very hard to get off. All right, so if there's any takeaway from this, it is to make sure that you apply 10 wet, thick coats. Not too thick to where it runs, but thick enough to where you'll get good coats and you won't have to deal with this. But I'm going to look on the can to see if there's any instructions on how to remove it. Easier than this. All right, so let's look for that. All right, so we got the can. And in true fashion, there isn't anything for removing. Everything applies to application. So I'm gonna just try using maybe a microfiber cloth, run it across that and see if that can get it off more evenly than just using my finger. So let's see how that goes. No success. The problem is it's so thin that it breaks on me. So if this is the first time to the channel and you like seeing DIY repairs, mods, and other car-related activities, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on anything. So let's get back into the video. All right, so as I was doing the other side off camera, I figured out a little trick to make it a little easier. So I was able to pull the whole bottom side off in one, and then the top half of it where this other side folds over, I was able to pull that off in one hole. So that made it a lot faster than the front. But let me show you a little bit of that now. All right, so the trick is to get it started. Try to get it started in one piece. All right. So the top part is probably not going to operate that well. So the trick is to pull this and to keep that piece underneath. Keep pulling that with your fingernail or something. That way it doesn't separate. I think what's happening is underneath, that little underneath lip, it's causing it to break. So as long as you can keep that going, you're good. Now the top part is going to separate, and that's okay. We'll just get that on the second pass. But if you can keep it going at the bottom, that saves a lot of headache. And I'm kind of pulling upward so it doesn't keep coming down. Might have to take your time with it, but it's worth it to get it in one piece than a bunch of little pieces like when we first started. As you can see, there's this top part that's left. The bottom part is good, so we're just going to take the top part here, get something started. Now this may work different for you and your trim, because every trim is kind of different. Yours may be easier, may be harder. This would have definitely been a lot easier if I had applied it correctly from the beginning. So I'm just kind of going underneath it so I can get it started. Then once you start this, it should come off the same way. One piece and easy. All right, there's some here that didn't quite get off, so I'm just gonna scrape that off. But for the most part, it all came off in one single strip. All right, so as you can see, we had to move inside into the garage. It got dark. I was able to get this part off. So there's a little bit that didn't come off that's left on the top part of it. I'm gonna try to get that off in one piece. Other than that, using that technique that I showed, it is working just fine. So we're gonna go to the front part and take that part off as well. So I'm gonna try to get this in one piece. Maybe I can if I just scrape at the top and the bottom. That makes sense, doesn't it? And there's gonna be some some little pieces left over, but we can get that later. I'm just trying to get the main piece off. So essentially the troubled areas is underneath here, as well as the top where it met the rubber part. If you can break that free, then the middle piece just slides right off. All right, so in the corner, it's nothing really special. I just try to get it all in one piece. Oh, starting to break. So if it starts to break, just scrape it down to where it's starting to break at, and then it should pick back up at one piece. So maybe I should pre-scrape, if you will. All right, off in one piece. All right, so halfway through taking off the trim, I decided to keep on the upper half. I kind of like the look, just having the chrome down here, but that may change, probably will change. But in the meantime, it looks okay to me. All right, so taking off the SuperWrap sprayable vinyl wrap wasn't that difficult. As I said before, I didn't apply it the best, so it could be a lot easier if you apply it right the first time. That's my bad, but still think it's a great product. Once I did get a good line going, it was easy to take off. There's a little bit of residue, but not too much. And I will definitely be doing more SuperWrap vinyl projects. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. I'm out.